Well, Rick, I've got some people right off the bat that we've got to thank because they've become members of the newsletter. And that means they want to keep up with you and everything that's going on in your magical world here.
Thank you. All right, let's give some kudos.
All right. Well, kudos go out to Lori and Michael, John, Phil, Joe, Dennis, and Ruby. And they have just signed up for the newsletter. And they did that by going to nothinghappensunityouDream.com and just putting in a tiny bit of information. We're not collecting demographics and selling information here. And then every month you get the newsletter that, Rick, you produce. And it's not only gorgeous, like everything else that you create, but there's a ton of information in it. Get in on that. It's fun to get that every month.
Thank you. And next newsletter will be out October, 1st of October. I promise you that. And I try, when people do sign on to the newsletter and they connect, they can go to actually rickthomas.com. And on the right side, it says connect. And you can sign in for the newsletter. And when I do, every week, I resend the newsletter out and it sends it to all the new people that have just signed up. So if you'd like to still see the September newsletter, do just that. I agree. It's worth it.
It is. It's fun. And the one that you'll get if you do it right now is the one that has info about storm, lightning, and thunder, the dogs in the show. And they are huge. How big are those guys when you see them in person?
My boys are about 130 to 140 pounds each.
Wow. And how much of that is fur?
About 90 pounds. They have a double coat, and you just can't believe it. In fact, when I started brushing these dogs, which is a daily activity because of the show, you think they're going to run out of this. You just keep brushing and brushing, and they just don't run out. So one thing you never want to do, and for those who do have Great Pyrenees, the one mistake many make is they think that because during the summer it's best to possibly cut or shave their hair off. Don't do it. It just never grows back right. You always brush Great Pyrenees. You never cut their hair.
Well, fur like that on dogs, it's an insulation. It actually keeps them cooler.
I do spray my dogs down constantly. Even in the summer, they have a air-conditioned habitat area and spray them down anyway. They run away from the water because they become big mats, you know.
Oh.
But it is a lot of fun. The moment they're drenched, they shake it off, and within 10 minutes, they're dry. And they're fluffy white balls. So they're a lot of fun.
They are gorgeous. And if you get the newsletter that's out right now, you will learn all about those three fantastic dogs. Well, we are working our way through The Tiger Whisker, your book, and we're on chapter 6 right now. I love this chapter because I like county fairs, and that's the title of it. What I learned from county fairs. What I have learned from county fairs, Rick, is that you can fry anything. That's what I've learned.
That's probably most of our conversation today is all the different things. No, actually, we're not going to make a list. But for those who do go to fairs, they are in for a strange treat. Now, I attempt, that's the best word, to find the wonderful wherever I am. And for years, I performed at state and county fairs. I had the privilege of performing at over about 50 fairs, 50, 60 fairs. So I am thrilled. Now, what makes it exciting for me is I love the outdoor performances. I love the smell of, I know this sounds strange, I love the smell of the cattle in the barns. I love the deep fried food, or at least what's lining the streets, and seeing what is there, whether it's the deep fried Twinkies or Oreo cookies or whatever it is. And the activity that basically goes on all around the entire fair in every corner of the fair. And most of it is just an outdoor experience. So my wife, Tara, she's from Zimbabwe. And if you want to know more about that, you go back right now and listen to the rest of our podcasts, because I did talk about Tara and tell you about how she came out to the United States, tried out for my show in Las Vegas, and now is my lovely wife. So she is from Zimbabwe, born and raised there. And she never, ever went to a fair.
Oh, dear.
Ever.
Okay.
And when she got out here to the United States, I took her to a county fair. And she fell in love with, I think it was deep fried Oreos, fried and covered in Captain Crunch cereal.
Oh, my goodness. Actually, that sounds good. It sounds grossly good. How's that?
Oh, my goodness. So something to that effect. I think if you're truly part of America, the United States, the fair industry and what it's all about is fabulous. We even have a convention every year for those of us who perform. It's usually held in Vegas. I think this year it might be held in New Orleans, but wherever it may be, this big convention, everyone in the fair industry, that are those that create the rides, those that are the fairs themselves, we as entertainers all get together and present what we are to the industry and tie it all together. And that's how you get all the entertainment, all these fairs. And some of it's bizarre. I know the world of magic is crazy, but everybody from jugglers to clowns, whatever it is, and if you're frightened of clowns, you're going to see plenty of them at a fair.
I know at the Orange County Fair that I've gone to for years and years and years, there was this mime. And a lot of people don't like mimes. This guy rode around on a bike, and he just seemed to be everywhere you turned. And you're thinking, how can he be here? And then how can he be there? And he was just, as mimes are, just about as annoying as they possibly could be. And I saw him for, oh my gosh, maybe 7-8 years straight. He became like a fixture at the fair. So you're right. There are some very unique people who entertain at a fair.
I'm going to even push it further. So here I am, an illusionist. I do grand illusions, and we perform on everything from a flatbed truck to an actual proper stage, and sometimes even on hay bales, whatever it is, wherever they stick us, we perform the show, and we do the very best we can at drawing a crowd. And then, of course, you've got the mimes, you've got those on unicycles, you've got the jugglers. So talking about the different bizarre characters at a fair. This is what I love. I love my industry. I love the circus. I love magic. I enjoy watching the stilt walkers, those that ride the unicycles, the jugglers. But there was one fair, somebody who drew more people than you could possibly imagine, and he was a plant.
A plant.
Let me explain further.
Please.
Not just a plant.
Please.
He was a fern.
Of course.
A bush. He was in camouflage. He had draped his entire body as though he was a bush. And he would sit there in the middle of the fair, and as people would walk by, he would just stand up and jump at them.
Oh my God.
That was it. That was it. And the crowds of people in absolute hysterics because you're walking by and there's just this plant sitting there on the ground. You have no idea it's a person. And when that guy jumps out at you, the people that walk by and the screams and the yells and the people running away, it's charming. It's the best way to put it. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fair. And if you get a chance to see Bush Guy, you're one lucky person.
Now, do you think this was a guy who just did this because he wanted to do it, or do you think the fair actually hired him to do it?
Oh, I believe that he was hired.
He was hired?
He was there everywhere. And the fair guy. That's right. He was a professional Bush.
Well, heck yeah.
He looked like he really knew what he was doing, and the fair had a great time with it, and he was there every day. And, when he stands up and walks around, he's got all these leaves all glued to his body.
Oh, my God.
But when he crouched down, he looked like literally a plant.
If you're looking for a career, we just gave you a new idea.
Start there.
Oh, my God. That's crazy. No, I love fairs, too. You laughed and you said you love the smell of a fair, but I do as well. There's something about it. It's this very eclectic mix of animals and all the fried nonsense and the cotton candy, because that always comes through. And
then you have the carnival.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah.
The carnival side of it. Now, I will tell you the biggest challenge I had at fairs were, and I don't want to make it sound like it's a derogatory word, but we always called them the carny kids.
Yeah.
The carnival children, those that were children of those that ran the carnival. And they would run the fair wild. They would mom and dad are running the Ferris wheel or a roller coaster or a haunted trailer. And the kids they'd be running around the fair. And every day when I do my performance, it was nonstop. These children would be gravitated to my magic show. And they'd watch it the first day. They'd be thoroughly entertained. They'd watch it the second day. They would know the words that I was sharing. They would watch it the third day, and they'd start screaming out things before I did it. By the end of the fair, you'd want to bonk them on the head because these children were obnoxious. Now, if you watch my show now, there is an illusion in my show where I bring a little boy up on stage and I teach him how to make a girl float or fly in the air.
Right.
And in the process, the relationship between myself and the little boy is what I learned at fairs. How I handle this child is how I handled the carnival children at the fairs. And actually, I got extremely good at it by being able to play off of how they were, what they were doing, at the same time curbing them ruining my show.
You had
So
to.
here I am today thanking the fair industry for teaching me how to handle children and present them in the show and give them something grand to remember. And I can promise you this, every young boy, and I bring up a girl in the show as well. So there's no one side or the other. But when I bring up this little boy, by the time he makes the girl float in the air and we send him back to his seat, it is something he will remember the rest of his life.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it. I've had young boys come back when they've aged and they're older. And they'll say, do you remember when you brought me on stage and I made the girl float in the air? And I said, yes, of course. Now, the reason why they usually probably remember it is because I also, when the girl sleeps, ask the little boy to wake her up by giving her a quick kiss. And many of them run off the stage. You never see them again. They're gone. And that's how I usually got rid of the carnival kids, by saying they had to kiss the girl. They're gone. But on stage, I tease the boy. I never let him kiss the girl. They just clap to wake her up. But the moment is a lot of fun. And I turn to the audience and say, look, there's a lot of people wishing they were you. You got to decide on what you're going to do. And so it's all fun. And all that is learned through just the many years of being fair industry and actually having to draw a crowd. When you're in the fair, for the most part, you're on outdoor stages. You start your performance and there may be 20 or 30 people standing there watching you. And by the time you end your performance, there are 1,000 people watching you.
Wow.
I also have something to say about my track record in performing. I've had the privilege of performing about 23,000 shows in my career. And I can say that I never canceled a show except for one. And that show was at a fair. I did 5 shows that day. They were 30-minute shows.
Wow.
It was in California, Northern California. It was blistering hot. And I had heat stroke and literally collapsed. They put an IV on me, took me out to the hospital. I was there for about an hour or two, got energized, went back out and finished my last show at the fair.
Yep, that would be you. That would be you.
Yeah, so I think now that I should just carry IVs with me at the fair and just like, okay, I need some strength between shows. But I commend everyone in that industry, the work that they go through, the weather that they have to deal with. Amazing. In fact, I'm going to tell you an extremely special story about the weather and how it affected one of my performances that now to this day is something I will remember the rest of my life.
Well, it's not just heat. You're right. It's not just heat. And gosh, if fairs are during the summertime when it's super, super hot, it's rain. I've been at fairs when it's rained. I don't know, performing outside in the rain. That doesn't sound fun.
Not only is it virtually impossible, but it destroys your illusions.
I would think so.
It just pours down. The first thing you do is you throw a big tarp over everything. And so the story I share today is all about rain. And you may think that what I'm about to share with you is a bad experience. I can say from experience that all of your experience make you a better person, whether they be good or bad. The bad strengthens you. And if you want to go through life unscathed, that is not going to make you a better person. You are going to get cuts and scrapes and scratches and pick yourself up. And this story it's just a gem in my life. So yes, I was sitting there. I was performing literally on a flatbed truck. So they have a big, huge truck. There's 2 of them actually put together. Okay. So they line up 2 truck beds, trailers, and over the top of it, they have this netting, but it didn't stop the rain coming through. And there's just hundreds and hundreds of chairs in front of me, and it's raining every single day. And I'm sitting there at the edge of the stage underneath a roof, watching the rain pour down for 5 days. It was a 5-day fair. And in fact, I'll tell you, it was up in Napa, California. And I just sat there. And now, of course, the fair was paying me to be there. And I actually appreciate working for my money. I like doing something and then being rewarded for it.
Yes.
I feel really bad when I'm sitting there and collecting and nothing's going on, and the fair has spent so much on me and the performance, and they're not getting a single show. So they came to me on literally the 5th day of the shows and said, "It's rained. We've got rained out for this season. Rick, will you be willing to move to an indoor arena?" And I said, "Absolutely. I'll go wherever you want me to go. I'll move the show anywhere I want." So here they are in the arena, putting down 4x8 boards because there's nothing in the arena. It's just an empty arena, and it's in the round. So first of all, I'm going to be performing with the audience completely surrounding me.
Ooh.
I asked them to cut off at least half the audience because we magicians at sometimes do some amazing secrets and it's behind our back.
Yes.
So if you can run around behind me really fast, you may be able to figure out half of what I do. So here I am putting these 4x8s down, and we're literally wheeling these illusions on these planks just to get them out to the center of the arena. Yes, they built a wooden platform in the arena, maybe 20 by 20.
Okay.
Right in the center of the arena. Now, the challenge I haven't gotten to yet. Yes, it was hard enough just getting the illusions there. Everything is just sitting out in front of the audience. Everything is seen. So I made it look like basically they knew exactly what I was going to do next because it was all sitting there.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. However, the challenge was it was the pig arena.
Oh, dear.
They had removed all of the pigs and all of the hogs. By the way, this arena is where they bring the pigs in and they have them displayed, and then they go to basically, if you enjoy hot dogs, you can figure it out on your own. But these pigs and hogs are literally brought in the arena and they're given awards and ribbons. And if you've ever been around a pig farm, the smell is kind of strong.
Yeah, it's putting it nicely.
The arena is identical to that smell. It's you can't get rid of it. It permeates. So here I am actually literally performing a grand illusion show, and it happens to be in the pig arena.
Okay.
And at first, it was a little overwhelming. I was distraught. I thought, well, they're going to put me in an arena. Little did I know it was going to be one that I personally had to keep holding my nose just to get through it. And the atmosphere and smell was just not right.
Yeah, to put it bluntly, yeah.
So the audience came in, and they came in droves, and I presented my show. And I can tell you that the reason it made it into my book is because it truly became one of my most prized memories of my life. And this is what I learned. It is a saying that has been heard before, and it bears repeating. No matter where you go, there you are.
Yes.
I repeat it again. No matter where you go, there you are. And I realized that it didn't matter where I was on the fairgrounds, that at that point, I still had the audience. We still had a wonderful time. The show went on. And because it was in the pig arena and I stepped up and I accepted the challenge, it was something of great worth in my life. And I learned that it doesn't matter where you are or where you go, there you are. And you better in your own personal life, do everything you can to enjoy the moment, because there you are.
There's not much you can do. You've got to make the most of it. I tell students that. I do. Students say, I got my first gig, but it's like midnight to 5 and it's out in this little place. And I'm like, yeah. And you're on the air. And who knows who is on the other end of the speaker. So go out there and rock it. Rock it like it's L.A. in the middle of the day. Don't rock it like it's the middle of the night in Nowheresville. Put it in your head that it's a big deal. You're on the air, and just let them have it. You have to.
It even happened in Las Vegas for me during the month of January, like the first week after New Year's. It's kind of quiet.
Yeah.
And I remember performing. There was probably just literally, it was just a quiet day. Vegas was just trying to wake up from the debauchery that went through the night before. So I literally, there was like 20 or 30 people in the audience.
Oh, wow.
And that is not the size of my normal shows.
No.
So I thought to myself, how am I going to go out here and do this? And again, this is in Las Vegas. And I'm thinking, why should I perform for so few people? So how I got through it is, before the show, I walked out and I literally shook everyone's hand. I said, "Hello, I'm Rick Thomas. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to having a wonderful day." I looked them in the eyes. I stared each one of them down. I knew what they looked like. I knew the relationship we now had, and I said, I'm about to get up in front of you and present a show. I do hope you enjoy. And that was another way of me getting through the day. And the moment I walked out, they were with me 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd taken the time to speak to each of them individually to help not just them, but me get through the show. Because you walk out on stage and this is all this pomp and circumstance and this amazing production, and there's like an eek of people out there, and just like and I agree with that as far as also that taught me really well with the fairs. When you start your show, sometimes there's just a few people standing in front of you, and you draw your crowd.
But those people are really important people. They're super important because they're there.
Whether there's a few people or thousands of people, every person who is there came to see your show, came to see the performance. You are right. They are important, and you need to realize that. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 1,000. You've got to give it everything you've got. And you just need to know that those people need that entertainment. Those people are there for you, and you are there for them. And what a great lesson it taught me. So whatever you wind up doing, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And whatever you're thinking right now at the moment, that's what's on your mind. So here's an important question for people to think about. How are you going to handle it? What are you going to do? And that's the best thing to say. Okay, you're in this position. You're dealing with whatever. In other words, now what? And in some cases, I needed to walk out there and shake their hands. In other cases, I had to hold my nose.
Which is hard to perform magic holding your nose.
Oh, goodness. So I'm constantly asked now here in Branson, wouldn't you rather be back in Vegas?
There's a question.
Is that a question you have, Tammy?
I have had it. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, there's all the grandeur of Vegas and the lights and the excitement. But okay, given I've never been to Branson yet, I don't know what it looks like. So I don't know how it feels.
Shame.
Oh, tell my radio station, tell them leave me alone for a week and I'll be out there.
Well, it's a miniature Vegas without the slot machines and the adult entertainment. It is very family. And in fact, when I came out from Las Vegas to Branson, I announced to everybody that I had come directly from Las Vegas. And many people said, go home. I know that the one thing I do, of course, I have dogs in the show. I have dancing in the show. I have comedy. I have Grand Illusion, glitz and glamour. I do everything I can to cover all bases so that no matter who you are or where you come from, you're going to come to my show and you're going to enjoy the show, or at least some part of it. And so that's what I've always wanted to do, is make it a well-rounded production so that everybody can be well entertained. So the question is, would I rather be back in Vegas? I say the words again, wherever you go, there you are. And you have to make the best of it. Well, what's great about Branson is both Tara and I fell in love with Branson. We love the beauty of what it is here, the way that life is good for us. And I've had my 20 years in Las Vegas. By the way, I still perform in Las Vegas. I have the opportunity to perform usually a month or so every year back in Las Vegas. So I still get to go home. I still get to see people that I've left behind there. So I get the best of both worlds. So the question, wouldn't you rather be in Vegas? And I pursued my dreams to perform in Vegas, and I accomplished those dreams. And I've been there and I've done that.
Right.
Can I do it again? Of course I can. But you got to find joy wherever you are. I have, and I do. I really, truly do. This is the day when I talk about being at the Pig Arena, I cherish the most, because I cherish it because I actually performed in a pig arena. And it is so important to remember that no matter where you go, there you are. And if you enjoy the moment, it's going to end up in your book.
Oh, well, there you go.
I wish I could say it better, but I hope people are getting the idea.
Right.
I love performing for people, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter how you dress. By the way, people dress a little nicer when you go to the theaters. That has changed massively.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Tammy, have you seen it? The changing of the guards,
yes.
The way we used to dress in Vegas and the way we dress now to go out for the evening. Oh my, oh my.
Yeah, flip-flops, shorts. You look like you just washed the car. I dress for an evening out. The tickets are expensive. A really good friend of mine used to perform in Vegas, and I was coming up to see him. I was friends with his wife. He told his wife, "You tell Tammy that she better be ready to dress, because I don't like to see jeans and T-shirts and shorts and stuff when I'm on stage. And he was a big singer, and he meant it. He came out in his suit and his tie and his pocket, kerchief, and looked like $1,000,000. But I can't believe it, Rick. You spend $100 on a ticket and you're going to go there looking like you just, or something. I can't stand
Well, look
it.
what the artists are doing for you. I mean, let's talk about people like the rock group Kiss or anybody else you can imagine, The Fifth Dimension or Elvis or whoever you may be talking about. And by the way, I just watched the Elvis show movie.
Good.
Great to see that as well. But you see what people do and what they go through to present something to you on stage. The glitz, the glamour, everything they can put before you. I would suggest one suggestion: do your very best to respect them back and look presentable.
I agree.
But if you're at Silver Dollar City, which is an amusement park out here in Branson, and you just got back and you have no time to change, come out anyway. I'll accept you.
This one time.
Just this one time.
We'll cut you a break here. We'll cut you a break. But no, if you're going to go out for an evening, that's, we don't go out a lot anyway. I love it when I go out and can get my fancy stuff. So it's a pleasure, and it makes the nights more special. So go for it. Have some fun with it. My goodness. And we got to keep up with what you wear on stage. You always look so, fancy and grand and wow. Yeah. So come on.
Thank you. The Mansion of Dreams. With all my travels worldwide, I've had the chance to see many great places and also find out great places to build my costumes. My opening costumes in the show were made in Germany.
Oh, really?
And so if you go online, even to TikTok right now, and you look up and watch the videos on TikTok, that's Rick Thomas Magic on TikTok. And I can't believe I'm admitting I'm on TikTok. But at least when you go there, you can watch videos that are of great worth. They're videos of my show, and you can kind of see the costuming and the design and the elegance of what it is. And the Mansion of Dreams allows me to do that. My whole design, and the reason why I did it is I actually didn't want to walk out on stage any longer in leather and chains. I wanted to be elegant. I wanted to be debonair. There's an Edwardian look. Is that a big word that people have to look up? An Edwardian look to my show.
No,
everybody stop right now and go look up the word.
You're right. It's Victorian. Maybe they know Victorian better.
Victorian better, but it's definitely a style and a presence where everybody gets to dress up and look. I also love Mardi Gras. I love the styles of those that really truly dress up in these amazing masks and costumes. It's just elegant. And so those are the type of things you're going to see at the Mansion of Dreams.
Well, it all fits together and it's beautiful. And I know your costumes are more than just costumes, right? I mean, there's some magical things that. Yeah.
Well,
I don't want you to give away secrets.
How can you even ask a question like that? Well, I will tell you this. When somebody appears in a box that is extremely, extremely impossible for them to fit in, if it is a massive costume, it makes it that much harder for them to appear.
Right.
So definitely sometimes the costumes may appear to be a little bit more skimpy than the large grand ballroom gowns and the tails and all that type of thing. But everything that's in the show is designed specific for each number in the show. It's all well thought out. There's a reason behind it. And I really appreciate my dancers, my cast, Tara, constantly changing into so many costumes throughout the production.
Yeah, they're fast.
And it's just a lot of fun. You can go online and read the reviews so often. And finally, there are people that write, I love your dancers. I love the costumes. The sets are amazing. That's what I want them to walk away from. I don't want somebody to walk away and said, oh, he did some good tricks.
No.
Nothing about the tricks. It's all about the grand illusion.
The presentation.
So whether I'm on a stage in Las Vegas, my stage here in Branson, or even on top of a flatbed truck at a fair, honestly, all of my years of performing, I'm going to tell you a secret. So there's a theater up in the East Coast. It's called the Flying Monkey.
Okay.
This
Great
theater
name.
is called the Flying Monkey. And the reason it's called the Flying Monkey is they are obsessed with the Wizard of Oz.
I figured, right?
They actually have there at the theater in glass displays one of the costumes of the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow.
Is that cool?
That's amazing.
Is that amazing?
Yeah.
Now, this theater Seats, maybe 200 people.
Oh, it's small.
150 to 200 people. Small. But I can tell you this. If you ask anyone, Tara, myself, my cast, what is one of the greatest places we ever performed? The response, the feeling, the how well we were taken care of was the Flying Monkey. And we try to go back there every time we possibly can. Now, I literally have to actually make sure the tour goes through that area because we lose so much money going through the area and even stopping and doing a show. It just doesn't cover the bills. But the show and everything that it was is something that will never be forgotten. It isn't always about a massive audience.
Right.
Sometimes the intimate settings are the greatest thing that you could ever imagine or hope for. So when you think, oh my goodness, there's only a few people here, or why am I doing this? Nobody showed up at my event, or whatever it may be, whatever you're working on in life, and you find that it's just not getting everything that you'd hoped for or wished for, as Tammy put it, and don't forget, you have no idea who is listening, even if it's that one or two people that can change your life forever.
Right.
Give it everything you've got. Continue to embrace what you do and what you love. Follow your dreams. And just once in your life, perform in a piggery.
There's a goal. There's a goal. Oh, my God.
Or at least walk through one and go to a fair.
Oh,
Go
indeed.
to a fair. Embrace that industry. Realize what those performers are doing out in the heat for you and give them massive applause and standing ovations. And all I can say again is I am so thrilled for that being part of my life. And I literally, when Tara and I have the chance, I go online and I look for a fair that's open close enough in the area where we can drive to, and we head out to the fair. So enjoy it. Enjoy being in the America and what the fair is all about, and embrace life. Enjoy.
And eat something very strange that's fried. You have to.
And it won't be good for you, but you can do it once.
Just once. Come on.
Or twice.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you before we go.
Okay.
So Tara, when we took her out to IHOP,
Okay.
she ordered crepes. And being from Zimbabwe and the English background, she had expected them to be a thin crepe with a lemon on the side and just maybe a sprinkle of a little bit of sugar.
Powdered
she
sugar,
gets this crepe that is covered by syrup and frosting and whipped cream. And she said, "What is this?" And they said, "A crepe." And she goes, "That is not a crepe." And they said, "It is a crepe." Now, you ask her a couple of years later, and she'll be the first person to say, "Could you bring me extra frosting, please?"
Oh, you converted her.
We converted her big time. So, yes, at the fairs, you'll find Tara lined there on the street, trying everything that you can imagine, the craziest things that they fry up and cook, whether it be a turkey leg or whatever. Enjoy it, embrace it, and enjoy life.
Yeah, it must be so much fun doing things with Tara because everything is brand new to her here in the States. But must be amazing.
I forget. Sometimes I would think she knows. I would think I miss the mark a lot. And that is just because I take so much for granted. I'll talk about a movie series or television show from just 20 years ago. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I've never heard of that before, or a different new type of cereal. You know what they enjoy the most?
In Zimbabwe?
I can tell you, Tara, for sure. Well, no, not in Zimbabwe, but here in the United States is the open roads.
Oh.
How vast the United States is and how beautiful we may think sometimes our roads are horrible, but when you drive throughout the United States, we truly have an amazing transportation system. And just getting in your car and driving across the United States to your next fair you're going to visit, enjoy the drive. It's just open highways, massive roads, stores that are spread out in every direction you can imagine. Where in the world she comes from, everything is all in one place. You go there, and if there's nothing there, there's nothing to get, there's nothing to buy. There was often many times that she would go to the store with her mother and father, and there'd just be nothing on the shelves whatsoever.
Wow.
And this was a daily and a weekly experience in Zimbabwe. So count your blessings, enjoy what you've got. And to think that we have these challenges here in the United States, we do. We have our own challenges, and everybody in life is going to say, oh, woe is me. But at the same time, just realize wherever you go, there you are, and how lucky you are to be experiencing so many things. And I'm gonna do a shout out. I understand we have a lot of people outside the U.S. watching, listening to the podcast now.
We do.
We have people from where are they from?
Well, Germany and Sweden, and quite a few in Asia. So this is so cool that people outside the U.S. are turning on to what we're talking about. I love it.
That's right. So the Germans are listening because that's where my costumes have been built.
Well, of course.
I'm just playing. And the Japanese, Japan, I had great success in Japan, and I would go there and literally I could walk down the street, not because I was 6'4" and I was easily seen, but they would say, that's Rick Thomas. And people would run up to me and know who I was. So my Asia tours have been a grand success as well. And I'm just appreciate all the fans that are out there. Thank you so much.
I hope you take the show into Germany someday. You haven't done that, right?
I haven't performed a production in Germany. I went through Germany and toured Germany, but we have no long-standing show out there yet. So
I would love that.
Be good. All those people in Germany listening, maybe there's that one person who says, you know what, Rick, I'm a producer. I'm going to bring you out to Germany. Let's do this.
Yep. I speak German, so I got you covered with the contract negotiations and everything. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my family's from Rosenheim. So
you're one up on me. I had 4 years of Spanish. I don't know very much. Congratulations to you on language.
Well, I grew up speaking it with my grandparents, so I've spoken German since I was a little girl. So I've got you covered on that. I'm your tour manager. We got this nailed. So come on, Germany. Let's go.
Let me give a quick shout out again to something that's very important to me as I close out today. Just a reminder again, the economy is challenging.
Yes.
My suggestion to you is diversify, diversify, diversify. I know I've got my show, and this is, you may think, what is Rick talking about? The economy. All I know is you need to take care of you. You need to take care of your own. And financially, we are challenged out here in this world we live in. And you need to go beyond what's in your bank account. You need to get a hold of some gold and silver. You need to ensure what you have. It's really, truly got to go beyond your savings and collect some precious commodities. I know what I'm talking about. If you want to know about it, you can go to mansionofdreams.com/wealth. That is, once again, mansionofdreams.com/wealth. And it would be a pleasure to share that with you. In fact, I know that, Tammy, we're talking about doing a Zoom event coming up here in the near future where I do a full presentation. We can get everybody jumping online and watching something of great worth regarding what I know about gold and silver and what you can do to protect your family.
I've seen the seminar presented once before, and it is fascinating. And you don't have to be super wealthy to get involved. And that's a key thing. I don't want people to think, yeah, well, he's talking about spending millions of dollars. No.
You can start with one silver coin. If you bought a silver eagle coin, which is probably now about $22, $23 a coin. That's pure silver. That's an ounce of silver. That's a start. And you just collect it when you can. Just buy something of worth. When you buy that 1 ounce of silver, it is an ounce of silver. It doesn't deflate in its properties. It stays current to its worth. And it's really important to realize that we have a fiat currency or a paper currency that is going all over the place while precious metals are holding their worth.
And we will be talking more about that webinar, give you the dates and all of that so you can make sure and move some stuff around on your calendar and be there. So, Rick, this was great. I love talking about fried things and county fairs. And wow, a pig arena. I don't know many people who are going to be able to top that.
Try. Go ahead. I dare you.
And let us know if you do.
Absolutely. Thank you again for listening. It is a blast. Tammy, have an awesome week.
Yes.
And I look forward to our chat again next week.
Me too.